Oh, that was a bummer. All right. Welcome to session number 216 of the Morning Journal. Thank you so much for being here. I am your host, G. We do this every Monday through Friday at 6 a.m. Eastern Time. We go live in the VIP. So I know that if you're looking at your clock right now, you're like, yo, fam, it's like 6:30 something. If you're here live watching, I know, but we get 30 minutes, so 20 to 30 minutes in the morning before everyone else comes in to kind of hang out with our inside crew, our VIPs over on Spoon. So if you think you are interested in having some of that bonus content, you can check the link that's on your screen if you're watching, or in the description, or you can check the show notes if you're listening on Apple, Spotify, Google Podcast, wherever you happen to be listening to the podcast version of this experience. Yeah, and you can catch some bonus content with us. Um, and don't forget, if you are watching and listening, go ahead and drop a like if you like it. Follow us on the platform where you're listening, and leave us a review. If this is not your first time here and you are already in, if you're already all in with this over on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, especially, ratings and review help, and I appreciate you. Um, So yeah, we're going to get ready to go into our main conversation for today. Let me set things up. I meant to open this up for our VIP so they can get started on it first, but you know, we were having such a engaging conversation that I kind of lost track of that. But here we go. This is where we're going to start the conversation today. Basically, the prompt is, I am being successful when. I'm being successful when. I think the idea that it's all about the journey and not the destination, that's only partially true, because I think that we all have outcomes that we are working to create, right? We need to finish and ship. The truth is that the truth in the idea of it's about the journey, it lies in the fact that you don't have to get all the way there to reap the benefits of being on that journey. Success lies not only in the destination, but also in the journey. So it's not an either or, it's an and. You are successful when you are on the journey and when you get there. So the question is, I am being successful when. And this is speaking to the habits that you have, the activities that you engage in, the approaches that you have to creating your life and pursuing and cultivating your possibility. So think about what it's like. What are you like when you are being successful? You can describe specific activities. You can describe mindsets, all the different ways that success kind of shows up on you. Oh, everybody's commenting on my outfit. Rebecca says, you look good in blue, G. Okay, thank you. Y'all so nosy. Like, let me run over there and see what's going on over there. It's all good. Everybody's got to do the fit check. If you go do the fit check, make sure you drop a like or something. It's like, he all right. Always got to be somebody. Always got to be a heckler. Somebody always trying to keep me, trying to keep me humble out here. I appreciate it. Yeah, he all right. He ain't all that. I guess. All right. So I'm being successful when I allow my passion to ground me. If I don't feel it, I don't do it. It keeps me authentic and accountable. passion. Yeah, it's important to use passion as a compass or as an indicator. And it's important not to be slave to that passion, right? Not be blinded by it. You have to, you have to keep it in its place, because it'll just burn the whole world down, you know? Passion unbridled would just burn your whole life down. So you have to master it. I'm being successful. I'm being successful when I try. Some people don't even try. Past self-guilty, right? They're either comfortable where they are or don't know how or want to even try. Even if I fail, I succeed when I put forth the effort. So trying is a skill, right? Like, you have to develop a habit of really being the courage to really try is, I think, what a lot of people struggle to wrap their head around. It's like, a lot of times we are hedging. We don't fully commit. So by doing so, by fully committing, we're giving ourselves the best chance, but we're also opening ourselves up to the most vulnerability. Because when you really try, then you can really, you have something on the line in terms of where you see yourself. So Miss says, passion blind me, it grounds me. My passion is balanced with pragmatism. Yeah, pragmatism, adding that to the mix as a check, as a connection to the as it is. Stay connected to the as it is. Mo, welcome in. It's good to see you. Hope you're doing all right this morning. Rebecca, thank you so much. Tim, thank you. Thanks for keeping the likes coming in. Hey, thank you for the booms. Love the support. Thank you. So I'm being successful when I start to create my ideas into reality. It may not be perfect, but it's very close to how I've been thinking and planning it in my head. Yeah, getting it out of your head and into the world and getting it as close to your vision as you can. I think the frustration is so often our skills do not match up with our current level of skill doesn't match up to our vision of what we want to create. We still have to learn and grow. Maybe there's connections that we need to make. There's some missing piece to the puzzle that's preventing us from making things exactly the way that we see them in our head. And that can be frustrating. But having the mature approach, even like the pragmatism that Miss is talking about, understanding that yes, you still need to ship the work. Even if it's not perfect, you still have to let it go. Get it as close as you can, learn, get better, and the next time you get closer. That seems like a productive approach to me. So Rebecca says, I'm being successful when I'm happy. When I'm happy, when I'm success when I'm happy, I'm being successful. And vice versa, I guess. Happiness is a clue. It's like, I must be doing all right. I'm happy, right? So I guess the biggest thing about that is understanding that while we are in the process, while we are trying to achieve a state that we desire or a goal that we are invested in, something that we want to make real in the world that was born in our imagination, your commitment and your action in that direction is already a success. So I just want to be happy. Just is an interesting word because it's no insignificant thing to be happy. You know, tree, bleh is where Rebecca is right now. Warrior is here. Welcome in. It's good to see you. I'm being successful when. So Chench says, when learning new skills and being able to pick it up quickly, learn how to properly detail cars this weekend. Next skill is wrapping cars. So learning and growth is a signal of success for sure. I don't know if anybody's in the vicinity and need their whip touched up, go holler. If you walking around in the car and it look, like it need a little tender loving care, HMU. So Tallest Gnome says, when I can make time to become the strongest version of myself, I am being successful. I'm being successful when I can make time to become the strongest version of myself. And I guess the making of time or finding of time, because it can't be made, it can be found. That part is a big thing. And then I guess what you do, what are the practices, what are the disciplines, what are the things that help you become the strongest version of yourself? That's a question that we all have to answer, and we all have to kind of calibrate the ways that we need to care for ourselves so that we can be the strongest version of ourselves. What makes you stronger, not weaker? If something is working for you, do more of that. And if it's not working for you, do less of that. Miss Mason, thank you for joining us this morning. We're talking about I'm being successful when looking at your mindsets and your activities and your sort of perspective as it relates to achieving the state, the goals, what your life should feel and look like if you could have it the way you wanted it. How close can you get it to that point? So of course, I think it's sort of implied that there's going to be some growth required if you want to effectively create and design the life that you're looking for, the change that you seek to make. Significant outcomes require growth, and difficult journeys require preparation. So we're going to talk about the growth in the next prompt. So if you're ready, just go ahead and drop that in the chat for me. Big shout out to Daryl on Facebook checking us out. Good to see you this morning, Daryl. All right, let's get it. Let's go to the next one. So let me reset this for you. I'm in the process of outgrowing. I'm in the process of outgrowing. So sometimes growth is about what you do to get better, like how you get stronger, becoming a stronger version of yourself, as the tallest gnome mentioned. But sometimes growth is like growing beyond something. It's like letting something go. Recognizing that this is not for you anymore. This is not you anymore. This is not serving you anymore. So I'm in the process of outgrowing. What are you in the process of outgrowing? So Aunt Capone is in the building. What's up, Aunt Capone? It's good to see you this morning. I'm in the out process of growing. Help me use words this morning. I mean, wow. Thank you so much for the light, Coconut. Thank you, Rebecca. I think the thing that I am probably outgrowing is the need to try to do everything myself. I'm outgrowing the need to try to be a superhero, you know? Outgrowing the tendency to refuse assistance that's available to me. Outgrowing not asking. Berlin is here. What's up, Berlin? It's good to see you this morning. Hope you had a great weekend. So Marie says, I'm outgrowing the meaning of love, or at least what I thought was told it was. It's been hard, but it's been very beneficial to outgrow your notion of what love means. If it's a kind of a false representation of what it actually is, I do think that we are definitely fed definitions and presented with expectations about love that don't line up with the reality of what it's like to love and be loved. Yo, Miss, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the likes. I really appreciate that. Got that trophy. I don't know. I'm about to say that future joint. I ain't got no auto-tune on my joint, but thank you so much. And Tree, please don't put 50 of those in there. I know that you like to acknowledge every single like. So yeah, fixing, updating our understanding of what it means to love and be loved. That's definitely a process that we have to go through. Berlin says, I'm outgrowing my deep depression. So if things are turning around for you emotionally, Berlin, and dealing with, your mental health, and you feel like you're getting past this episode. I'm really happy for you. Um, a lot of us have grappled with depression, and I think Emmy talked about it last night in a way that is really poignant. It's like a mind flu, a brain flu, and you come down with it and you struggle through it. So if you're feeling like you're in a better place mentally, Berlin, I'm really glad to hear that. I'm really glad to hear that. So Marie says, love is not a feeling. That is your new understanding. Change is like, what is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Oh man. So, Tree is in the process of outgrowing laziness. Will I outgrow it 100%? Maybe not. But I got a lot of things going on and I'm enjoying it so far, even though my body and mind hurts sometimes. Yeah. So over on YouTube, on Facebook, Daryl says, I'm in the process of outgrowing small-mindedness. Outgrowing small-mindedness is definitely a thing. Outgrowing small-mindedness. Outgrowing laziness. Yeah, we do kind of think small sometimes. We don't acknowledge what's possible. We play smaller than we need to. We don't live into our potential. I don't think any of us do fully. And it's not a matter of laziness, like what Tree is saying that she's outgrowing. It's a matter of shifting our mindset. A lot of times the laziness comes, there's something behind it, that resistance. Tree Fitty is back. Hey, Tree Fitty. So someone anonymously shares, flings. It's fun here and there, but I'm kind of over it. I'm kind of over the flings. Perhaps looking now for something more significant. Don't want to just be out here having flings. Maybe a deeper connection is more meaningful and more what you are looking for now. Tree's like, I kind of miss having flings. Oh man. So negativity in any form, says Change. Need to surround myself with people who strive to build, not tearing down. So looking for people to build and not tear down. We can't have, it's important, or it's kind of necessary to have the opposite. We just have to have the right relationship to the things that we call negative. There's lessons there. And we are not, sometimes the things that we call positive don't hold the whole story. So sometimes we need to look at the other side, the part where, there is information in the negativity that's useful in helping you build and grow. So we can outgrow it, but don't completely dismiss, because there's always that outside possibility that you're wrong. And if we exclude the things that we find in opposition to what we feel is the positive, productive, correct, whatever, however you want to conceive the situation, sometimes we put criticism in the category of negativity when, they just got some information for you. You know, you said toxic. Yeah, well, see, that's the thing. Sometimes the right dose of toxicity, the antidote lies in the poison sometimes, right? So yeah, at a high enough dose, anything can be toxic, right? So when you call something toxic, at the right dose, it's actually the antidote. So you can't throw it all away. You have to be, you have to be open to the possibility that there's something in that for you. And then get it and get out of there, you know? Get it and get out of there. Don't wallow in it. Don't take in too much, but don't completely exclude it. So let's see. Miss says, I'm outgrowing the fear of being hurt by people. Relationships will disappoint you, but that doesn't mean they aren't worth having. Friendships, etc. All right, Berlin says, the spoon eating up your phone battery? All right, Berlin, it's good to see you, fam. So, outgrowing the fear of being hurt. Relationships and connections with people are risky. It's an emotional risk, for sure. But I think we require it. It's a need. We have a need to connect in some way. Can't make it alone. There are parts of us that, in order for us to be our best, we need to be connected. Yeah, we need to be connected in order to be our best. That's kind of the way we are as humans. SOK is in the building. Marie, thank you so much for the spoons. The ooh-woos. Thank you, I really appreciate that. That's as ooh-woo as I'm gonna get. I'm not gonna change my, I'm not gonna say ooh-woo like that, but I appreciate them. All right, let's see. We're talking about what we are outgrowing. Rebecca says, certain friends. I'm outgrowing certain friends. And that's one of the things that, one of the most difficult things about growth is the fear of isolation. I think a lot of times people are not on board with the person that you are becoming. Yes, SO is here for a bit. The subconscious is going to take over. That's cool. Yeah, a lot of people aren't necessarily on board with the growth that you experience. Some people see your growth as an indictment. It's like, how dare you? How dare you get better? You know? And sometimes they're afraid for you. Sometimes they're trying to protect you because they think they need to. Most often they're protecting themselves. So being willing to outgrow certain people, to limit your exposure and time with certain people, it's necessary. Or it can be, depending on the people that you're around. If you got a lot of great people around you and you're growing together, you know, that's a good thing. And Capone says, I am outgrowing arguing people. And Capone's like, yo, I'm not going back and forth with you. We don't go back and forth. So, Yvonne, welcome in. It's good to see you this morning. I'm in the process of outgrowing is the prompt that we are working with right now. So we can continue to think of that. It's necessary for us to grow. It's necessary. Well, it's not necessary. No, actually, no. No, you could just stay like you are. Let me rephrase that. It's not necessary. But if there's something a potential that you want to explore, then growth is often required. I'll put it that way, because you don't have to do anything. Miss says, I fear isolation, but I can do bad all by myself. Can't have a hater relationship no more. Can't do hater relationships no more. No more holleration or hateration. No more holleration. All right. Everybody drop a green heart in the chat for Retha. Retha's with us this morning. In the process of outgrowing, Yvonne says, I'm outgrowing putting up with lies. Yvonne is like, yo, you got to just keep it a whole buck with B. I'm not going to tolerate your lack of courage in speaking the truth to me. I'm over that. That's awesome. And thank you so much for the green hearts, everyone. Yvonne is like, I need you to say it with your full chest. Everybody put that. Yeah, here's the, where is it at? Everybody drop one of these in the chat. Drop one of those in the chat real quick. And we can get ready to go to the next prompt. If we're ready to do that. All right. So let me pull up the next prompt. All right. So we're about to get real with it now. Somebody put a hug in the chat instead. Marie says, I'm just going to give you a hug. So the next prompt is, what projects are attached to your most important goals? What projects are, because I heard a very interesting perspective on goals. If there isn't a project attached to it, like a plan of action that you are intentionally executing, it doesn't have to be a perfect plan or perfect execution, but there's something, right? There's something that's creating some boundaries, some means of feedback that'll let you know that this is actually a goal. Because if you don't have anything attached to it, if there's nothing that you are doing, nothing that you are kind of reflecting on or measuring or noticing in an intentional way in terms of the progress that you're making in the direction that you're going, it's just a dream. It's just kind of floating out there. Dreams are beautiful. I'm all for having them, but you need to call it what it is, right? So when you think about the most important goals, the most important things that you are kind of directing your attention towards, practically, how is that playing out? Like, what are the practical things? What are the concrete things that you are doing in service of the thing that you've committed to? Even if the goal is a little vague or a little soft, and the edges aren't clearly defined, you can still have projects that can help you hone in on it. So I just want to be happy, you know. That's an end. I know Rebecca said something about that earlier, but there are ways to pursue that, right? There are things that you can do. There's ways that you can measure that. Even if the goal isn't concretely defined, we can still have an intentional way of moving towards it where we can tell how we are going, tell how we are doing, and tell which way we are going. So think about that. I'll give you some time to fill up the request box. And while you do, I want to just take a second to let everybody know, if you're here for the first time, if you're watching the live stream, if you're listening back, however you're having this moment with us, we do stream Monday through Friday. The Morning Journal is a weekday stream at 6 a.m. Eastern Time. That's when we start in the VIP section. We have about 20 minutes of bonus exclusive content, usually in each stream, 20 to 30 minutes of bonus content. So if you're on another platform, if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcast and you want the full experience, I invite you to check the show notes and find a link to join us here at 6 a.m. Eastern Time. Another thing I want to kind of mention is that we do have a newsletter. The Morning Journal newsletter comes to your inbox and it has some of the prompts that we use during the stream, and maybe some other prompts that don't show up in the stream. You never know. But some prompts, a little commentary to give you a very direct and succinct way of engaging in some structured introspection, as SOK described it yesterday. If that's valuable to you, it's free to subscribe to the newsletter. You can also find that link right here in the notice. It's free to subscribe. I would love to see you there. And finally, we do have some incentives, some promotions that are coming up during the month of March that I'm really excited about. We'll get into more details about it later, but just let's say that you'll have an opportunity to access some of the services and things that I offer kind of in the real world at a significant discount by supporting here on Spoon. So, you know, there's a premium version of the newsletter that's coming, and there's also some one-on-one coaching type things. So those things are coming up as well. So keep your eyes open, and I'm excited to say more about that later on. So okay, I think I coughed anyway. I turned down the wrong thing. I tried to keep y'all away from that cough, and I turned down the wrong part, so y'all probably still heard it. My bad. All right. So Yvonne says, I'm writing music slowly but surely for my own album. I'm saving up for a kayak right now. Eventually, I want to buy a cello and a house. So saving some money, slowly building up your body of work, slowly and consistently building your body of work. Getting a cello and a house. Those are all significant. And Marie's like, thanks for the juice. I need something to drink, right? I couldn't find my water. I think that as an educator, I know that you teach music. A lot of times, when you're an educator in a space like music, it is the case that you don't have a lot of time or bandwidth to work on your own craft. But it's important for you to do that. It's like it's integral to your practice as a teacher to be on top of your practice as an artist, because I think it both of those experiences complement each other. And when you can kind of incorporate things together in that way, it's really powerful. So I can appreciate the alignment that you're seeking and the direction that you're going. It's really cool. Welcome in, Hypnotic DJ. It's good to see you. So Miss says, my class project is matched with my long-term goal of being a nurse practitioner / professional artist. This class opens up my future quite a bit. So education, the process of building and accumulating the skills required to do the work that you seek to do is an important step. And yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Because you want to keep it real with yourself, right? Keep it real with yourself. This is what you want. This is what you're going for. And this is how you're doing it. These are the steps. This is the way that you're crafting this identity as the nurse practitioner, as the professional artist. Once you engage that process, you're stepping into that identity. And you start seeing yourself as that authentically. You're not jiving. You're not fooling yourself. You're actually on the path, and that reinforces and builds your confidence every day. I want to be a phenomenal tarot reader, and I am, but my exposure is hinged on my introversion and all of the BS out there.